You are now listening to the Pelicans post-game report. Flash report.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican post-game report. Much love to the fan. Appreciate y'all being in this episode of PPR Flash Report, man. The draft is come and going, man, and we have an opportunity to see some things. We've seen the post-press conferences by all the picks in this draft. As you can see on screen, Coach Willie Green was at the presser, along with with Joe Dumars, current president of the Pels, running things, basically saying, right, just addressing some of the situations. We heard what young point guard Jeremiah Fears say, heard from what Derek Queen was saying, how very smart his comments were in terms of what he thought about the selection. I heard Simmons quote. I heard some of these other people that's disagreeing with Joe Dumars and what he's doing. And credit to him staying steadfast. I think the most indicting thing that I could say about Joe Dumars is the fact that is keeping Willie Green, and we know that is outside of his power. We know that is tied to Gail Benson telling him that she wants to retain Willie Green and give him another shot. We know that because he would have put Willie Green in the street, bringing in his entire staff with all these guys. So we know what Joe Dumars is doing, and he's giving him a competitive team. The fact that the Pelicans traded with the Hawks and unprotected first round pick, they wouldn't have gotten the spot. They wouldn't have gotten to 13 from 23 without giving them the unprotected pick. And Joe Dumars alluded to this and talked about how much he believes in Derek Queen to make that jump. He believes that he's a top 10 pick. He said himself in the post-press conference that he believed that they would have to choose between Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears. And the fact that they got both of them, he was elated with that move. So we got to respect that. We don't know how this situation is going to turn out. So to sit up here and bitch about whether the pick is unprotected or not, it just doesn't, to me, it just doesn't make sense, because not enough time has elapsed for you to judge whether or not it's going to be a bad pick or not. Just let's see how it play out and see what the situation is. It is a gamble, yes, but you got to understand that Joe Dumars is doing his best to take whatever he's working with the Pelicans. And it's not chopped liver. We have a bunch of good players here, and take and put these young people along with the trade that he did along with these guys and see what goes on here. Now, like I said, the biggest question mark to me is still the head coach of the team. So with that being said, I know you guys had an opportunity to see the press conference. A lot of positive things were said by all three of our really good young picks here, in the fact that Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen and Mika Peavy, the second round selection, pick 40, has some game to him. And all these players are talented. Jeremiah Fears, just to do a brief recap here, averaged over 17 points with 4 assists and 4 rebounds. Offensively gifted, young player, of a lot of fight in his game. He's being compared to some very good players in the NBA currently. There's a few things that he has to improve upon his game on the defensive end. I love his temperament, his aggressive temperament. I think that he could be taught to be better defensively. They will have to get him bulked up or whatnot, but he's not a guy that's short of heart. Joe Dumars kind of hit at the reporters and told them several times that he wanted tough, intelligent players. That's what he's building this thing on. And this kid out of Oklahoma State is a high pick by the Pelicans, and he's penciling him in to be the future of the pick. He's a top 7 pick for them. So we'll see what it looks like, but the guy has talent. Very good. He is SEC all freshman choice. He was born in Chi-Town, so he definitely got some fight in his game. I do love his game, and we'll see where Jeremiah Fears takes the Pelicans. And if he can learn from DeJounte Murray, he definitely add explosiveness to this team. And he is also smart. You can't stand in front of him playing defense, so he's going to attack the piss out the rim. We know that. Derek Queen, the 6'10" center out of Maryland, got a lot of personality, not short on words. I love how his confidence. He talked about how the next draft coming up that he beat a lot of those guys, and when they get to the NBA, he's going to continue to beat on them. I love that. So, he talked about that he's worth, and he believes, and Joe Dumas believes that he's worth the selection to move up there unprotected to get it otherwise. And like I've said in the previous stream, that if the Pelicans win, all of this shit about this pick will disappear, and the guys that were saying will just disappear. They will button their damn mouth. You wouldn't hear nothing from them for the rest of eternity. But of course, the only way it becomes an issue is if the Pelicans lose, and that is also relevant. So I don't want these other people to feel like they don't have a word in it, because anything is possible, right? We don't know exactly how this is going to play out. That's why it is a gamble. So 6'10", about 250 pounds here, spent one season at Maryland. He was the 2020-25 Big Ten Freshman of the Year, the 24-25 Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Center of the Year finalist. He finished tied first in the Big Ten, ranking 14th nationally. He had 15 double-doubles, which is most among the freshmen, and he played in a total of 36 games with the Terrapins. He averaged over 16 points a game, 9 boards, and 2 assists. He also had over a block a game, and he played over 30 minutes a contest, so he got game to him. He's a hustler. 15 double-doubles by a freshman and an impact player. Love his temperament. The guy can play, and having him here will be very good as well. And then, of course, our other guy, Mika Peavy, who is a forward out of Georgetown. He's another guy that put up really good numbers as well at Georgetown, over 17 points a contest on 48% shooting from the field. And he shot 40% from downtown. So we're not going to talk about his free throw shooting because he has to work on that. But outside of that, the guy has a willing mindset, has good size, is a scorer. He was a guy that kind of moved around. He was with Georgetown prior to that. He spent time at TCU. He was at Texas Tech. So he kind of moved around till he found this place. But the Pelicans, thinking that Mr. Peavy, could represent a good developmental player for the Pelicans going into the season. So those are big things to kind of talk about in aggression, being aggressive and making bold moves and risky moves is what Joe Dumas' Marcus, you can see a little quiet, but then you see the trade that happened. CJ McCollum and Kelly got traded out for Jordan Poole and Sadiq Bey. We talked about that, how that will ultimately look. Time will tell what happens here in terms of that. But like I said, our biggest thing, we made that abundantly clear on PPR, is the fact that the head coach has to step up. He has to take this talent that is being given to him and make it work. All right, so let's move into some more news. Let's get into Summer League. Of course, this Pelicans Summer League schedule has been announced. July the 10th at 2:30. They match up with the Timberwolves. You see 2 days later, they got the Lakers on the 12th, then the 15th, Portland, and then on the 16th, the championship OKC Summer League team. So we'll see our Summer League guys in the building as well as they announce the schedule. We know eventually they will start announcing the roster of who will be in the Summer League. And this is some of the information that I've gathered up thus far about some of the Summer League people as provided by Hoops Heights. You see Hunter Dickerson. We'll talk about him. Jeremiah Fears. We see another player in Chase Hunter, Mika Peavy, Derek Queen, Lester Quinones, who was on the Pelicans two-way, and Troy Townsend. We'll talk about some of these players as we continue to move through this flash report. And this was a guy that a lot of people was talking about the Pelicans getting some size. DC mentioned it in day 2. We thought that would be one of the picks the Pelicans used. And the Pelicans did ultimately sign 2-time All-American center, Kansas center, and used to play for Michigan, to Hunter Dickerson, who's a big center, very productive center. Played some time and spent some time, like I said, at different schools or whatnot. But Hunter Dickerson, 7'1", they say 7'2", 265, has good game. If you watch footage on it, we showed some on the breakdown about Hunter, is that he's a talented guy. Shams reported it. He's a 2-time consensus AP All-American who averages a 17.4 points, 9 rebounds, just under a steal, and a block and a half while shooting 55% from the field. He played his first 3 college seasons with the Michigan Wolverines before playing with the Jayhawks the last couple of years. He is a guy that's interesting. And Troy Weaver adds this player from his area, the DMV area, and he's added him to the team. Also, you see what Troy Weaver is doing. They talked about toughness. This is this pattern to what the Pelicans are doing because they added Dickerson, who's from Virginia. They added Sadiq Bey, who comes from Maryland, played for Maryland, along with Derek Queen, who come from Maryland. So you can see the toughness there. And also we know that Lester Quinones is still under contract, a 2-way deal. So he's guaranteed to hold the spot there. So we'll have to see what goes on there. But that is good news. I've seen some articles that said it was a bad move for the Pelicans to pick up Hunter Dickerson, Dickerson, that he's a guy that wouldn't help them and all this kind of stuff. But what I watched in this game, that his game, depending on how it's the Pelicans roll it out, could be very helpful to the New Orleans Pelicans, to be honest with you, to have a 7'2", 265-pound center who has some offensive game, moves very well, and size matters in the West. Size matters in the West, no doubt about it. All right, let's move on to the next player. The Pelicans did make some moves. If you guys are unaware, the Pelicans continue to make a few moves as the team is adding some more talent. So Pelicans add Chase Hunter. They signed him to an Exhibit 10 contract. The Pelicans did that after he went undrafted. Former Clemson guard Chase Hunter has reached an agreement to sign an Exhibit 10-day contract with the Pelicans. He announced that on his Instagram account. And Hunter had a lengthy college career with the Tigers that spanned 6 years from 2019 to 25. He was awarded that medical red shirt after a foot injury limited him in 9 appearances in his freshman year. Then he gained an extra year of eligibility due to the C-19 thing, and he appeared in 167 games in 6 years. He had 123 starts, and as a super senior in 24-25, he averaged 16.5 points a contest on 47% shooting from the field, almost 41% shooting from downtown. He contributed 3 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and a 1.4 on the steals. And this is numbers over 33.5 minutes per contest. He earned his first team All ACC honors this year and left Clemson as the school's number 3 all-time leading scorer. So the Exhibit 10 contract can be converted into a 2-way deal prior to the start of the regular season. It also can put a player in line to earn a bonus worth up to $85,000 if he's waived, and then spends at least 60 days with the team's G League affiliate. It remains to be seen exactly what's the plan for Mr. Chase Hunter. So the Pelicans are kind of picking up people and picking up pieces to get ready for the summer league, as that's the next thing we know. Next month will be in which the Pelicans will start bringing in people for the summer league. So that's one of the guys to kind of talk about. And as we keep this thing moving, another guy to kind of mention we just talked about was Trey Townsend. Now, Townsend was another player the Pelicans reported to have signed to join the team's summer league team. As it goes, that he's announced that he'll be going. The director of scouting for NBA Draft.net reported that the Arizona forward Trey Townsend is joining the Pelicans summer league team. Townsend averaged over 8 points a game, 4 boards and an assist in his only 1 year with Arizona last season. Before transferring to Arizona, he averaged over 14.7 boards and 2 assists and over a steal per game for 4 years for the Oakland team. He became a star for Oakland back in March of 2024. He scored 38 points in the Horizon League Championship game as Oakland earned its first NCAA title appearance since 2011 team. He averaged 23.5 points, 12 rebounds, and an assist and a half as Oakland upset Kentucky before losing 79-73 in overtime to North Carolina State on their way to the Final Four. Now, he earned a reputation in the Horizon League title game, and 2 NCAA tournament games helped him prove that he could play in the Power Conference. So the guard Jeremiah Fears, Derek Queen, Mika Peavy from Georgetown, and then Fears and Queen selected there as well. So 6'6" player who has some talent too, and we'll see what he can do in the summer league. He shot 49% from the field last year and 33.3% from downtown, and he shot just over 79% from the free throw line, 53% from the field. So this will be crucial to see. Like I said, he's about 6'6". His game is very comparable, people believe, to Peavy's game. So we'll see what the Pelicans have in store for this player as well as we go into this upcoming season. The summer league kicks off. It's going to be very fun to watch the Pelicans. This is an unofficial depth chart look at the Pels. As you see, Murray, who's going to be out, I believe, all the way to the end of 2025, and you might not see him effectively full time until 2026 with his injury, still rehabbing. We see Jordan Poole in the trade here, could play the 1. They got him listed here at the 2. So if Murray's not ready to go, there is a thought process that Jeremiah Fears, that's right, young man, Jeremiah Fears, can step in and start next to Poole. So Joe Dumars has these impact guys. He's not going to let them flitter away on the bench. This guy is a 7th round overall pick. The other one's 13th. He has eyes to have these guys to have impact moments or impact minutes in the game. How would that look? So Poole and Fears, could that be the guys? It's a small backcourt, but boy, it's an offensive charged one. We'll see. But the Pelicans have, we talked about this, a living roster is one of our favorite terms on PPR, which means they have the ability, if using offensive imagination, to be able to move these guys around, and they have players, when healthy, to be able to play a multitude of different looks if they use that offensive imagination. And if is a big word there. So Fears, Poole, as we talked about, Jordan Hawkins is still there. He'll be in the G League as well. Trey Murphy and Herb Jones still rehabbing from issues and dealing with surgeries that they had. We know Brandon Boston is still rehabbing. So we'll see as we get closer to the start of the official season, the regular season. We'll see where they are in progression in these injuries and what's the official timelines. We'll start getting timelines and when guys can be able to play. So we're watching Trey, Zion dealing with a few things. It's rumored that Zion should be good to go. Trey and Herb still up. We got to see. We hoping that they'll be ready for the start of the season. We'll see. One might be further along than the other. We don't know. And then there's Brandon Boston. We'll see what's going on with him. Sadiq Bey is a guy that was hurt all year. Word on the street is that he should be good to go. So as we get closer to the regular season, we'll start seeing all this pair out, but it'll be fun to watch our newly acquired players have an opportunity to play in the summer league coming up very soon. Coming up soon in less than a couple of weeks, to be honest with you. So it's going to be fun watching our young Pels, man. Can the Pelicans do something they never did before, which is basically win a summer league title? That'll be something that we never seen before with the type of talent they putting on this team, man. Why not? Why the hell not? So anyway, that'll do it for PPR, man. Y'all put y'all comments in the section below and let me know how y'all feel about some of these moves. Tell me how you feel. Let me know in the comments section, man. It's your chance to kind of drop game, be respectful, but let me know how you guys feel about what the Pelicans are doing. You like it, love it. It's a safe place. Put it in the comment section below and let us know. With that being said, I'm Big Q. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show. Share it on social media feed. If you're not a sub up. Hit that damn sub button. It's free. And join PPR, man. We always have the fire chat. We always have the fire information covering our Pelicans. With that being said, I'm Big Q. Shout out to DC and Lex and you, the flock. Much love to the community. I'm gonna holler at y'all on the next one. Much love. Go Pels. Peace.
Subscribe now and stay up to date for all things New Orleans Pelicans.